Okay, so unfortunately, we're going to be doing a little post-com this week. We played at a time when I unfortunately wasn't able to record. I also actually wasn't able to run damage calculator during this match, so I was kind of just, playing off vibes. So here, I was debating between leading either Goldengo or Okidogi. Okidogi would have been a fantastic lead into either Greninja, Landorus, or Chaldon. But I ultimately decided to lead Goldengo because I was like, okay, there's actually a very good chance that he just leads the Iron Hands this turn. Tried to get a large chunk on my team. Iron Hands is very difficult for me to switch into. So I elect to lead the Goldengo, and he elects to lead his Specs Greninja. And what I'm initially thinking in this situation is, okay, Goldengo, Goldengo's a fairly bulky guy. It can probably take a hit from Greninja. And you're just going to see our Slither things. So I say in here, if I was able to calc, I would have calced. I tried calcing on mobile, and let's just say it did not work very well. So I was just like, okay, my Goldengo has a lot of bulk investment. Probably it's a Dark Pulse from Greninja. Greninja doesn't have the most special attack. Dark Pulse is like an 80 base power move. So I'm staying in here. He's probably debating going for either Dark Pulse or Extra Sensory, I would imagine. Extra Sensory is a good play if he wants to call out the Pex coming out, but it looks like he's just going to make the safe play and go for Dark Pulse, which, that's fair enough. He doesn't have any information yet. For all he knows, that could have been a physically defensive Pex. So Dark Pulse was a fair play. And unfortunately, Dark Pulse takes out our Goldengo. I thought I would have lived that hit and would have gotten a big Focus Blast off, but unfortunately that did just kill. And that does create a situation where that Archaldon now is a very big issue for me, as well as Iron Hands. But I don't really have great checks to either. So I go Okidogi. I mean, this is screaming that I'm Scarf Dogi. Well, actually, maybe not necessarily. Maybe he needed this Specs to be able to one-shot Goldengo, so he doesn't know yet. So I just go for my Terra Poison Gunk Shot, figuring, okay, Terra Poison Gunk Shot is a good middle ground for a Basculation. It'll do a large chunk to everything besides the Archaldon. And I really don't think Archaldon is going to just switch into an Okidogi, especially when the Okidogi was in front of Greninja. So I go for the Gunk Shot, and you're going to see that this is a fairly defensive Basculation, but I do get a solid 3 KO on it. So right now, what's currently going through my head is, okay, my Okidogi needs very little to happen to win this game. Gunk Shots just obliterate his entire team, besides a Basculation, which is currently 2 KO'd by that, and the Archaldon. So the main thing I need to win this game, essentially, is to get rid of that Archaldon. It's because, I'm sure, in case you're not aware, Okidogi gets the ability Guard Dog, so even though Landorus has Intimidate, it's actually going to raise my Okidogi's attack. So the Landorus is not a very good Okidogi check. So he's debating what to go for. He goes for the Endeavor, which, fair enough. Wanting to weaken my Okidogi is fair. It's because Okidogi is by far my best win condition, and I think we both are very well aware of it. And you're going to see I got into Pex, and the reason why I went Pex was I knew that Pex can take any hit. I can eject back out. So I just go Pex, eject back out. And here, I'm not 100% sure what I do. It looks like I go for Palafin. Try to get my Palafin boosts off early. And also, this is very valuable. It's because if I can get a flip turn on that Basculation, I don't even have to worry about potential roll of the Gunk Shot. It just will to a KO it. So he switches out here. He goes out into his Helmet Iron Hands, which was a fantastic bring into me. That was a fantastic bring into Palafin. Is because it would be able to deal with it very well. I take the Rocky Helmet chip. He takes a little bit of chip. And since now I know that this is defensive hands, I'm like, okay, my Okidogi still needs a little bit more tapping in order to win this game. I need the Archaldon off the field, and I need this Iron Hands chipped. So I just kind of go out into my Palossand thinking, okay, Palossand can take any one hit this wants to go for, even if it goes for the Ice Punch. And I threaten with Earth Power back, but instead of going for the Earth Power, I like to go for Rocks. SPIC has the Landorus in the back, and I figure, okay, he's probably going to go Landorus this turn to try to get his own Rocks on the field. Rocks, for me, are especially valuable into his team, as essentially, with Stealth Rock up, it will put the Basculation more on a timer. It's because there's two ways I potentially win this game. First is through Gunk Shot endgame. For Gunk Shot endgame, I need Vascular Agent chipped, and I need our Charlton off the field. And I also have a Close Combat endgame. For Close Combat endgame to work, I need Iron Hands chipped, and I need, and I need the Vascular Agent off the field. So chip on the Vascular Agent is very valuable. Oh, did I say Vascular Agent off the field for Gunk Shot endgame? That's incorrect. I meant chip on the Vascular Agent for that endgame. So I just go for my rocks. And looks like he's like a SmackDown EQ set. You know, fair enough. I don't have grass type on my team, so that's kind of a big issue. So he goes for rocks. Solid trade. And I go for the Chilly Water this turn. And I figured rocks were probably coming out. Lowering the attack would be valuable on this so that this can't 1v1 my Palossand. He goes for the U-turn. I believe I go for Earth Power this turn, as I was pretty sure that this Landers wouldn't want to stay in against the Palossand. He goes for U-turn. Landers takes another steady round of chip. Further solidifying my potential Okidogi endgame, which, as you can tell by what I'm saying and how much I'm emphasizing it, Okidogi is my best way to win this game by far. It's basically my only win condition, as I unfortunately brought a little bit of a more passive team. So I go for Earth Power. It does a large chunk to the Greninja. And here, he has no reason not to Dark Pulse. It's because he doesn't know whether my Peck's especially defensive or physically defensive at this point. So he might as well play as if it's physically defensive. And yeah, no reason for him to make a crazy play, especially when I can potentially KO the Greninja. And Greninja is a very good win condition for him, as my team is fairly slow. Only thing I have that outspeeds it is my Okidogi. So you're going to see this Dark Pulse does nothing to my Toxapex, revealing that I am especially defensive. And here, I make a little bit of a misplay. I should have played more aggressively because I knew that I was on the back foot in this situation. It's because even though I do have a very good Okidogi endgame, I don't have any way to switch into Archaldon. Like, my entire team is kind of dead to it. The only thing that will take it is the Palossand, and once the Palossand goes down, that Iron Hands becomes a little bit more of an issue, especially since I let my Goldango go down so early due to just kind of an idiotic no-calc play on my end. So I go for the Toxic Spikes. 100%, I should have doubled out there, but it's okay. The one nice thing about watching these post-coms, as I'm actually learning as I'm watching these games, as I'm like, okay, that was a mistake, I shouldn't have done that. And it's important to kind of learn from mistakes, just because yeah, it hasn't exactly been a fantastic season for us so far. So he's thinking this through. He's probably thinking, okay, do I EQ or do I Thunderbolt? He goes for the Earthquake because he knows that I'm especially defensive on my Pecs. And here I make my second misplay of the game. I got into Okidogi and let Okidogi get chipped. This was a huge mistake. It's because Okidogi is basically one of my best endgame pieces, and basically my only endgame piece. So letting this get chipped to potentially get into priority range, that wasn't really a smart move on my end. I'm sure the Tide was probably thrilled that I made that play, because, which we'll call it, that was definitely not the smartest on my end. So here I'm like, okay, I am Giga on the back foot here. Rocks are up. I don't really have great ways to remove them, as Corvic Knight's kind of terrible in this matchup. So I'm going to make an aggressive play, go for the all-offensive Gunk Shot, calling out the Pheasantipity coming out, and the Pheasantipity does come out. I take it out, and I'm like, okay, sweet. That opens up two ways I potentially win this game, both through Okidogi. One is the Close Combat endgame. For Close Combat endgame, all I need is Vascular Agent off the field at this point. And yeah, I still have that Gunk Shot endgame open as a potential option if I'm able to get the Archaldon off the field. And the Vascular Agent a little more chipped, which with rocks on the field, I should be able to get that chip. Here, he's probably 50-50 because he's like, he probably knows that I'm probably Scarf Dogi at this point, but he probably doesn't know whether he should call it out. It's because Vascular Agent, Archaldon is 100% his play if he knows I'm Scarf. But if he isn't 100% sure, his play is probably go out into Vascular Agent, which can take a hit from me. In turn with the Surf, I'll be forced to reveal my Knock, which even though the Knock would take out the Vascular Agent, from there he would have the information I'm not Scarfed. I am Scarfed though, So this Basculadron, 100%, fantastic play on his end. I'm forced out, and he makes another fantastic play. He doubles out knowing that I am probably scarfed, and since I'm probably scarfed, I'm probably going to be forced out here. So it's just floating, and he goes out the Archaldon, which I really don't have a good offensive answer to. Sorry, a defensive answer to. I got into my Corvic Knight, figuring, okay, my Corvic Knight can take any one hit this wants to go for. I didn't want to go Pex just because if Pex would bring in the Archaldon, which ended up happening anyways, unfortunately, is because he made a great play. Great double. So here he has no reason not to Thunderbolt, and unfortunately I do not have Body Press on my Corvic Knight this week. So I have absolutely no way to touch this Archaldon, so I just click U-turn. And yeah. If I would have had Body Press, I would have been in a much better situation. It would have like really opened up my Okidogi endgame, but unfortunately we opted not to do that. I forget what I brought Bravebird for. Oh, I brought Bravebird for the Ogerpon, right? I was like Oka. I was Oka with enough attack to be able to one-shot the Ogerpon, but the Ogerpon got benched. So he gets the defense boost. And here, I'm pretty sure I go out into Okidogi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I go Okidogi here, figuring, okay, I have to make a play at this point. Oh, wait, no. I got into Palisand. Oh, right, yes, because Palisand threatens with Earth Power. And once this is chipped, my Okidogi endgame becomes very open. Also, he can't 2-hit KO me with Flash Cannon, and if he Dracos, I can just shore up. And so he goes up for the Flash Cannon, which, you know, solid play. Scouts for my Draco, and he gets the Spadef drop. And yeah, that Spadef drop was very big. It's because now my Palisand is in Draco Meteor range when it wouldn't have been before. And yeah, since I wasn't able to calc, I wasn't able to double check whether Draco Meteor killed. I kind of had to hope that I was able to live a hit. So he goes for the Draco, and Palisand goes down. Really unfortunate because if I could have gotten an Earth Power off on this, my Okidogi endgame would have been like a lot easier for me to pull off. Is because I could have knocked more freely, and you'll actually see that in this game there actually is later a situation where I do go for knock on the Archaldon. So Palafin comes in. It's being like, okay, I don't want to go out into my Okidogi and force a 50-50. Palafin turns with CC, it turns with flip turn, turns with a bunch of stuff. I think I ultimately decided to flip turn this turn, is because I knew that was like seriously on the back foot, and I knew that Iron Hands probably was going to come in on me. It's because that when I saw Rocky Helmet Hands, I figured that was probably his dedicated check to my Palafin. So I go for flip turn, do a little bit, and here I'm just like, okay, I'm getting steady chip on the hands, the chip that I need for my Okidogi endgame. And here, I like to bring out my Corvic Knight and just shack it off to get Bravebird damage. The reason for this play is I don't really need my Corvic Knight for anything, and after this Bravebird damage, my Okidogi endgame is seriously threatening for his team. Like, he really doesn't have good Okidogi answers. If this was his main defensive piece that could take a hit, besides the Archaldon and Basculadron, and those kind of had to risk me locking into a move, which created a 50-50. So he drains, you know, fair enough. And here I think I do go Okidogi. Yep, I go Okidogi. Take another round of rocks, which, you know, obviously being problematic as it's limiting my Okidogi turns. And it's my only progress forcer in this game, due to the fact that I let Goldango go down way too early. So, yeah, he's kind of thinking about this for a while. He ultimately likes to go out into Archaldon. And here you're about to see why I was like a little bit frustrated by the Spadef drop on the Palisand. It's because this Archaldon would have been in knock range. And unfortunately, since I didn't get that Earth Power off, I never get, yeah, I don't get the 2-hit KO with knock, and it creates a situation where my Okidogi endgame's a lot iffier than it could have been. I definitely didn't win from that position, but it would have made it like a slightly different game. It gave me like a little more of a chance. So he goes out into, he just Earthquakes, you know, fair enough. I don't really have a good Earthquake switch in. My Pex takes a large chunk, and I elect to just sack off Pex because my Pex has been a huge liability this entire game due to the Archeldon. And so Pex goes down. Yeah. So here, I think I go, okay, I imagine I go Okidogi this turn. Okidogi is my only progress forcer. It's because Goldingo went down. So I'm probably thinking about this for a while. My guess is I'm probably debating between Palfin or Okidogi. And I ultimately like to go Okidogi. Figuring, okay, at this point my only hope is he is an Aqua Jet on the Basculegion. And if he isn't an Aqua Jet on the Basculegion, I'm actually in a really good position right now. It's because my Gunk Shot endgame is looking really strong, especially after this Archeldon goes down, which he's going to elect to do this turn. So from this position, you know, kind of loading, thinking. I think I was debating going for like an aggro knock play or something. But I go for the close combat, take out the Archeldon. And at this point in the game is going to be decided by one factor, which is the Basculegion Aqua Jet? If Basculegion isn't Aqua Jet, what'll happen is essentially my Okidogi will be able to clean up the game with Gunk Shot after I'm able to get a little chip with the Palafin. If you look at his team, what he has left, he has Greninja, unless it's Water Shuriken, which probably isn't going to be in this matchup. And he has Landorus, which will trigger my Guard Dog. But unfortunately, as you can see, he is Aqua Jet on the Basculegion, so that's going to be a good game. Definitely not one of my finer showings. I think I did put myself to be in a winning position towards the end. I seriously got thrown on the back foot early by letting Goldingo go down too early. But, you know, it's been a learning experience. And unfortunately, it's been a very frustrating season so far. This is actually... So, yeah, you're going to see Okidogi go down. And hopefully we're able to turn it around. I may make some waivers later. It's been a little frustrating, as you could probably tell. But, yeah, good game. Fantastic plays on Dietite's end. And see you guys in our next